In today's video, I'm going to show you how to master Airtable by adopting the core mental shifts that turn a simple spreadsheet replacement into a fully relational, visual, and collaborative database. Whether you're just opening the app for the first time or you're looking to polish your skills, I'll walk you through my personal process for getting the best results. Airtable is incredibly powerful because it lets you organize anything: projects, clients, inventory, content calendars, in a way that actually mirrors how your brain works, without the rigidity of traditional databases. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe, and let's get started. The very first thing you want to do before you even click a single button inside Airtable is to adopt a core mental shift. Start thinking relationally. Most people come from tools like Excel or Google Sheets, where you tend to cram every piece of data into one giant flat sheet. You'll have client names, project names, task descriptions, deadlines, and notes all in the same row, and it quickly becomes a mess. Instead, treat every unique type of asset as its own entity that links together. For example, clients live in their own table, projects live in another table, and tasks live in a third. You then link those tables together using Airtable's linked record field. This way, when you look at a client record, you can instantly see all their projects and all the tasks within those projects, without ever duplicating data. The key here is to ask yourself, does this piece of data belong to just one thing, or does it need to be its own table? If a data type repeats, it deserves its own table. Next, before you build anything inside the software, map your workflows on paper. I know it feels tempting to dive right into Airtable and start creating fields, but sketching how your data actually moves through your real-world process saves you from restructuring errors later. Draw boxes for each of your entities, like leads, deals, invoices, and draw arrows showing how they connect. For instance, a lead becomes a deal, which then generates an invoice. When you map it out by hand, you naturally spot gaps and redundancies that would be painful to fix after you've already built out 50 fields. This is a best practice that seasoned Airtable users swear by, and it takes just 10 minutes. Now, once you open Airtable, here's a critical principle: build inside one base. You might be tempted to create separate bases for marketing, sales, and customer support, but that fractures your data and forces you to manually copy records between them. Instead, keep all related processes in a single base. This way, your marketing team can see which leads turned into sales, and support can see what product a customer actually bought. You maintain a clean, single source of truth. If privacy or permission levels become a concern, you can use Airtable's interfaces and locked views to control what each team sees, rather than splitting your data into separate files. Another powerful habit is to consolidate similar data into a single table. For example, if you're managing students, don't create one table for elementary students and another for high school students. Put all students into one table and then use filters and views to separate them. Airtable is built to handle large datasets, and keeping everything in one table means you can run global reports, see cross-grade trends, and avoid the headache of merging tables later. You can create a view specifically for elementary students with a simple filter condition and another view for high school students. The same applies to inventory, clients, or projects. Keep one source of truth and slice it with views. When you start creating your fields, use specific field types instead of relying on single-line text. This is one of the most underutilized features in Airtable. If you're collecting email addresses, use the email field type. It automatically validates the format and lets you click to send an email. For phone numbers, use the phone field type. For files, use the attachment field. This might seem like a small detail, but it enforces data validation at the entry level, preventing typos and inconsistent formatting that ruin reports down the line. It's a best practice I recommend to everyone. Next, diversify your perspectives. Airtable's grid view is fantastic for entering and editing data quickly. But don't stop there. Switch to a Kanban view to see a visual pipeline of your tasks or deals as cards moving through stages. Use a calendar view to track deadlines or events on a timeline. Each view reveals a different aspect of your data. For instance, a project manager might edit tasks in grid view but present progress to stakeholders using Kanban. This flexibility is what makes Airtable so powerful. And you can set up multiple views from the same table without duplicating any data. Finally, hide unnecessary fields to keep your working screens tidy. When you're deep in daily tasks, you don't need to see every internal note, Idaho number, or timestamp. Right-click any column header and choose Hide Field to remove it from your current view. You can also use filters to show only records that matter right now. This keeps your interface clean and your focus sharp, reducing visual clutter that slows you down. If you found any value in today's video, hitting that like button is a small gesture that makes a huge difference in helping others find our content. We're always looking to grow, so please drop a note in the comments, whether it's a specific part you enjoyed or a suggestion on how we can level up our production. We read every single one, and your feedback directly shapes what we build next. By now, you've learned how to think relationally, map your workflows on paper, build inside one base, consolidate similar data, use specific field types, diversify your perspectives with different views, and hide unnecessary fields. You now have a solid framework for designing an Airtable base that scales with your work. As a next step, try building a small base for a real project you have coming up, and experiment with linking two tables together. Bookmark this video or save it to a playlist so you can revisit these steps whenever you need a refresher. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.